Hello, welcome to Switched On Gaming. Paul speaking, and just like the seasons change and Christmas comes around, it's time for the yearly release of FIFA, and of course it's FIFA 22 from EA Sports, this massively long running series. This is on the PC. If you want to see my impressions of the Switch version of FIFA 22, then check out my review of FIFA 19, and then just imagine Norwich in the Premier League and Ronaldo at Man United, and you should be pretty much there, because again it's the Legacy Edition on the Switch. Quite flippant to say that, but in all seriousness, if you are new to the Switch and you want a football game, FIFA on the Switch is excellent. It just gets a little bit of a bad rep these days, just because it's basically a kit update and data update, leagues and players and stuff. So but the gameplay doesn't change from season to season, but it's still, in isolation, a very good game, and that's usually how my reviews of FIFA on the Switch end. But we're going to be concentrating on FIFA 22 on the PC. Big thanks to EA for sending me out an early copy, even though this has been out in early access for a week, I believe, on Origins and EA Play, if you pre-ordered it. But here we go, we've got this version to look at. So this is not a legacy version as such, although it doesn't include all of the new features that are in the new gen consoles. So the PS5 and the Xbox Series X have something called Hypermotion, which is basically, I think it's 4,000 new animations for players, which makes it look a little bit more realistic. Couple of other new features as well, but that's not to say that the PC doesn't get an overhaul. As I say, this isn't a legacy version. This isn't the same as last year's PC version like they do on the Nintendo Switch, and the incremental improvements in this version of FIFA 22 on the PC still cements it at the top of the table. I mean, there's no one to challenge how good this game is, and the tweaks that they've made to it this time around just make it even better. What we're going to do in these videos is have a quick overview of the new gameplay changes and those kind of things, and then probably going to hit another video with one of the big sort of back of box features that's in the game this year around the career mode. So when I loaded this up, the first thing I noticed was the way the ball moves is very different, and it's for the best. Oh, there's an early start for Man City. 3 minutes in. Oh, Tottenham, obviously. Lucas. Well. Now, if you listen there, that was the voice of Stuart Robson, who's the new co-commentator this year, taking over from Lee Dixon. And might as well talk about that while we mentioned him. I'm not used to him yet. I think that's the kindest thing I can say about Stuart Robson so far. It feels very flat. It feels like the last couple of years that FIFA's taken a backward step in the commentary by getting rid of Martin Tyler. Martin Tyler, yes, he'd got a bit stale and old, but when you see what we've been replaced with, that's a bad back pass. Good save, Ederson. So losing Martin Tyler, in hindsight, I think has been a backward step for the game. And as much as I dislike Lee Dixon, I didn't think he was a very good co-commentator either. Stuart Robson is not up to the job either, and as I say, it just feels like backward steps. But anyway, when we started the video, we were talking about gameplay. The ball moves very differently. It moves a lot faster. And that's not to say the game's gone arcadey in any way. It's just become more realistic. One of my issues with FIFA, as much as I love it over the years, is that the game speed and more importantly the ball speed, which dictated it, felt unrealistic. You watch a real Premier League game and the ball really does fizz around, and you never really got that feeling in most video games really, but certainly not in FIFA. I think this year it's getting there. And it's much closer to real life football. The ball really does fly. It dips much nicer. You have a shot, even a low shot now, and it will almost immediately start to dip off, and it looks really realistic. Son! Oh! Lovely celebrations. Made it too easy. Man City are having a nightmare. I think this is the game Sunday in the Premier League, isn't it? I think I was it. Might be Man City Liverpool. Yeah, Man City Tottenham have already played, haven't they? First game of the season. But still, headline game this. So yeah, the main thing with the ball is the more realistic and fast movement. Crossing here is much better. And also the way the ball breaks. It can break in some really cool ways now. Like if you're going for a 50-50 clash, the ball can spin up into the air. It's really, really cool, and it's a definite improvement. And as I say, it really makes it feel like they have put some love into the PC version. Even if it hasn't got all those headline features that the consoles have got, they've still given it some love, and for that I appreciate. And it's made it a much better game than FIFA 21 for me. Ooh, good swing across from Mahrez. So that for me is the main gameplay feature. The keepers are a little bit different as well. They will now parry a lot more. They will more often than not gather the ball perfectly straight into their arms. If it's like a low shot and they go down to save it, it may spin out of their hands, but they sort of grab it on a second try. That sort of thing is really cool. It feels again a lot more organic and realistic. Oh, lovely from Gundogan. City now exerting a bit of pressure after going 2-0 down. Headers there feel realistic. I've had some really nice little flick-ons and stuff. This new burst of pace as well feels a bit different. So yeah, in essence, the presentation is pretty much the same as FIFA 21. Certainly the menus in the game, but sort of pre-match presentation and in-game graphics and stuff, they haven't really changed. Like the UI and the sports broadcast presentation hasn't really changed much. So the changes are there if you look for them. They're incremental, but they are there. And I've been just having an absolute blast playing it, to be honest. This time, surely. Good save by Lloris. And already my assistants recommend I take Grealish off for Sterling. I don't think so.
Favouring the short one. Electing to cross into the centre. Making sure nothing untoward happened.
And half time.
So the referee blows his whistle, and that was a frustrating first half.
But yeah, in essence, the sort of, as I say, that the graphics aren't much different. You can probably see some new animations, certainly, but not loads of them like on the new gen consoles, and the crowd and presentation, all very much the same. This is something I really, really like. The new statistics screen. I'm a big fan of stats, and we get this more in-depth statistics screen now. It looks much different. It's nice to see the expected goals in there as well. We see the third down. Sometimes see that expressed as X goals in stats in other places in real life. But it's called expected goals here, based on the sort of chances and success that you're having. Possession, you've got a nicer heat map and some more in-depth stats there of where possession's been won and lost. The shooting stat UI. Passing now is really cool. Love that. So defending, different tackles, and you've still got the events in the game. So that's new. I really like the new presentation of the stats. But if you go into the team selection, it's all very much the same as it has always been. No real big changes there. Talking of changes, let's bring on Phil Foden. So I'll play it a little bit more just so you can see some more of the gameplay, and we'll try and pick out anything new. We'll try and have some longer shots and longer passes so you can see how the ball behaves. Oh, Grealish, you little cheeky little monkey there. Having a little pop. One thing I did notice as well, talking a little bit earlier about Stuart Robson's commentary, is he interrupted. I can never remember the main commentator's name, but he interrupted the main commentator with like a chance. Oh, good save, Harry Kane. When there was a chance, the other commentator was talking, and then Robson interrupted him, sort of saying, "Oh, there's a chance here, shot on goal." It felt very organic, and I don't remember that being in the last game, so that's a little bit of an improvement. It felt, again, quite realistic. Of course, if you've been following the news, the other change in the FIFA commentary is Alex Scott now does the goal chances. Oh, that's a good chance. You've got to bury that. Yeah, Alex Scott, the BBC presenter, does the goals and chances from around the other games when you're in career mode. So that's really nice.
City have controlled the ball, but without really creating enough chances. They've almost passed the ball for the sake of it.
It's good to see as well. Yeah, you know, someone like Alex Scott, females getting a chance to get involved in FIFA, and that's quite a big thing, especially for her. She's really seems really proud that she's got the chance to be in the game, which is cool.
Going well. Foden. And teammates to play it to.
Yeah, Foden's not going to pass. Oh, he's done brilliant. Oh, what an effort. And you see there, I mean, it's not really worth rewinding because you won't really see it, but the ball dips much quicker than it ever does, and it's ever done before. See if we can play at normal speed. Watch the ball dip. It's hard to see, but it may not even come across very well on the YouTube video, but playing it definitely feels different. As I say, that is a change for the better, and it's, you know, again, one of the only changes, but you're improving on an already very good game. So
Lucas Moura. An attack full of promise. Possession one.
I know it'd be a really difficult thing to add as well, but I'm quite surprised that oh, it's 3-0. Quite surprised that they haven't had a little pop at VAR this year as well. It seems to be something that's not going anywhere in the game, and it'd be really difficult to implement. But you know, they added in stuff like the goal line technology, which okay is a little bit easier to work out because it's, you know, a binary decision. It's either over the line or not over the line. So it's probably a little bit easier to add. All you had to add in is a little bit of AI on the referees to not always give the goal. Oh, see that lovely diving header. A foul on the keeper there. But yeah, VAR, I mean, I'm sure they'd love to add it, and I'm sure there's probably some discussions going on internally with the developers to try and figure out the best way to implement that. Oh, it's nice again from City. They play some nice stuff, but they just cannot finish. I don't think we're going to get much joy out of this. Well, when it's going to finish, it'll be finished in a second. We'll go back to the menus, have a little look around some of the new teams and kits and stuff. I'll leave timestamps below so you can jump ahead to that if you want to. Just show you some of the things. I mean, the most upsetting thing for me is there's no Southend in the game. The team I support finally got relegated to the National League after 100 years in the Football League. So I really enjoy playing at Southend usually, but it's not to be this year. There was rumours that the National League was in the game, but it turned out that isn't true, and there's only Wrexham from the National League that are in the game, and they're in the rest of the world section. Well, City have had their pressure. Cannot defend against this Tottenham attack. Love the way Sterling runs in this game. So realistic. Well, there we go. That's the gameplay. If you played FIFA 21 on the PC last year, you probably would have noticed some differences. So ball movement for me is a huge, huge thing. Feels much better. Really pleased with that. I assume that's what's going to be the same updates on the PS4 and Xbox One as well. Those consoles haven't got the brand new updates either. So let's have a very quick look around. I mean, obviously, as I say, the menus here are very similar. And we've got the new squads. They're all bang up to date. So if you look at Man United, see we've got Ronaldo straight in there. So when you get the game, you're going to have the brand new squads. And obviously, as they always do, they'll be updated as we go along. New teams, obviously, in the Premier League. We've got Brentford. Ivan Toney's had a great start to the season. But, you know, they're up to date. Haven't got their stadium, which is a bit of a shame. Whether that's going to be coming at a later date. Norwich and Watford are all in the game as well. Bit of a slight on Watford that their best player is their 78-year-old goalkeeper, Ben Foster. I know he's not 78, but he's old. I just had that number in my head from his rating there, but I wouldn't say necessarily he's their best player, as good as he is, but there you go. So yeah, as we say, there's no National League either, but there is in the rest of the world. If you were wondering, we've got a soccer A team, so that's quite cool. I've seen that before. With all the old players. Quite sure I feel about Maradona being but there you go. MLS All-Stars, the Adidas All-Stars, and then Wrexham. And then the rest of your world teams. So there's a big change in career mode, or a big new feature, and we're going to talk about that in a different video, so check that out below. But hope you enjoyed that look at the gameplay of FIFA 22 on the PC. This is out on the 1st of October, so tomorrow, Friday the 1st of October. I think it's an improvement on last year's game, and that's all you can ask for, so I'm happy with that. Check out the other video if you're interested in career mode, and it really is worth checking out. And I will see you all later. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye bye.